Hey, what's going on, everybody? Talk some TCG discussions, coming at you with a discussion video today about the new Dark Brawley card coming out. So I actually made my ban list predictions for all the other colors. I made it and then got ready to upload it, and literally the next day they revealed that there was no ban list. So rip to me. But it's okay because we get to shift away from that because nothing's gonna happen. I guess thoughts on it, real quick. I guess they wanted to see, what's going to happen in Zenkai format, which is kind of fair because we won't know until, we see everything play out. I think Blue's going to be super strong with its floodgates, and it's going to be kind of anti-Zenkai stuff. I think Green has some pretty good tools against anti-Zenkai. Bardock Paternal Unison is pretty good. So we'll see. I think that there's going to be some pop-up stuff all around. But other than that, I'm kind of looking forward to it. So if you don't know, they're coming out with the Dark Brawley card. And honestly, the card is kind of bust. It's kind of busted. No, it's not a bust, it's busted. So, you know me, huge Dark Brawley fan. So I'm going to talk a little bit in this video just about how that card's impacted the deck, and kind of going forward, why I think that this could be the return of DB. So here's the first thing. It is a free Overwhelm card. So even though it doesn't have the 0, it's the 0/0 combo power, Dark Brawley can still make use of that, which is going to be nice. We have tons of other Overwhelm cards that are going to be our 0/5s anyway in the deck, so it's not like that. We're going to be super hindered by that. This is also going to highly encourage us to play the ball variant again, I think, because you're going to be able to have that Realm Ravager, not Realm Ravager, but Uncontrolled Berserker effect, basically, more consistently now. So you don't have to play less copies of one or the other. The issue with the way the most people are playing Dark Brawler right now is they're basically committing to the 1 energy 30k. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. Now you can use the Demigod Unison in the deck and just basically feed yourself an absorbent amount of Dark Brawley effects, warping a card off the board for free, and you can do it twice in the same turn. Basically with the Demigod Unison that gives itself Wormhole on Overwhelm, it's going to burst 1, you can +1 to put 2 back, and then your leader can put 3 back, giving you another, another 3, totaling 6, so you can Overwhelm again. This is going to slot perfectly, I mean just perfectly, in the deck. I think it's going to be, to me, a mandatory 4-of that I play. It's something that honestly, I think that we needed. We just need another strong 30k Overwhelm card that just really lifts the deck. And it is synergizes with the Blah variant, in my opinion. But the thing that's super duper strong about the card is its activate main for 2 energy to play itself from the warp. That is not once per turn, and it still has the on-play auto of warping a card. So you can literally double Overwhelm in the same turn and then pay 4 energy, technically, to get out 2 more 30ks. And this, to me, is very, very powerful because basically with the way you had drop management before, you were kind of you were kind of shifting around to basically utilize the fact that you could warp 6 for free. But now the only thing you just have to do is pay 2 energy. Now, a lot of people want to say, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do, considering right now we pay 1 for 30k out of the drop. But what people don't understand is that you're limited by the number of cards in your drop area, and you can't fill them very easily. This effect just straight bypasses that. It's good, and that's what makes the card so good, because no matter where it is, if it's in your hand, if it's in the drop area, and then sent to the warp, and then if it's resting in the warp, yeah, it's gonna be super strong because you just effectively get a 30k anytime you want that also has removal. Another thing that is going to be super strong for the deck is that it can play the Fearless Fusion and the SS3 Gogeta Thwarting package. And that's going to kind of act like our Pseudo Recycle, just put extra pieces back. This variant now can also play defensively. It doesn't have to, like, it can just commit that 1 energy to Demigod and then put 2 30Ks of pressure and then flex whatever it needs to do defensively for the rest of the turn. Or offensively if you smell blood in the water. And here's the thing, with like 4 energy, right? Like, just to put this like into perspective, with 4 energy, you could play like literally like 5 30Ks in 1 turn. So like you could do 2 free overwhelms. You could do a 2 like pay 2 to bring 1 back, and then you could technically do like ball twice if it's possible. So like, you know, given the fact that your drop is stacked enough or whatnot, it's very conceivable that you could play 5 30K swings in 1 turn, which is basically the Resurgence of Dark Brawley in a nutshell. Now, do I think that we're going to be top tier? Kinda. I think that like I think for the first time in a long time, Dark Brawley is going to have a lot more synergy and relevance. We're still going to struggle on the combo end, but we're going to play some cards to mitigate that. When I get the deck put together, I'm going to bring it to you guys as soon as possible. And then hopefully if I can get enough on pre-release, I will then take that deck to, I'll take that deck to locals, hopefully try to get a dub. And then be able to profile for you guys. But like make no mistake, like to everybody who thinks that like this, it's not going to be that good. Like we're not really going to be able to, no, it's going to be pretty strong. Like it's going to be pretty strong. And then that's not the only black 30K that we're getting. We're also getting the Gogeta, which is really, really good with the deck. It's going to help facilitate, you know, Topo if we want that as a defensive option to play, which I'm in favor of because the deck does need a good floodgate that just basically deters our opponent. Topo is out of the range of things like Vegeta Resolve Renewed, you know, things of that nature. So I do think that like Topo does have a place in the deck. So you could technically charge, you know, turn 1 or turn 2 that Gogeta and then like have Topo live. And this is all before the fact that like you have red cards that you're probably going to play, especially because Heartfelt Plea exists. Now, we don't have a Z leader yet for Dark Brawley, which I'm hoping that we get. And hopefully like that Z leader has like the old activate main effect of being able to tribute any amount, because that would really like, that would be really nice. Because that's like the one thing that I felt like they took a step too far. But I will say that the free tribute effect of Dark Brawley is a lot more in line with like all the other leaders that get a free 5K. But the issue is that it's also kind of not relevant because all those other decks are 1, comboing from the drop area or some other place, and 2, their cards aren't 0/0. So like it hurts us a lot more to have to play those 0/0 cards than it does in everybody else, and so we kind of like need that for us. It's the same thing with like Cooler. I think that like the fact that Cooler can distribute a Unison, right, a card that doesn't even have combo cost for activate battle power is ridiculous, and Dark Brawley is stuck at 1 like that. I might be off with that because I haven't read that Green Cooler in a long time. I think that that's the way it works, but you know, or even Dripku just basically gets to siphon off its Unisons for Spirit Boost X, and like, you know, you can have Unisons with 5 or 6 markers on there. That's 20 to 25, maybe 30,000 battle power just off that one activate battle, and the only thing you lost was the Unison on the board. So yeah, I think that like it's something that like Dark Brawley does need. We'll see going forward kind of like what it does. But here's why I think that like Dark Brawley can be very powerful. So number 1, it's obviously going to be very aggressive. Number 2, it's going to be able to have barrier removal. So like you can kill Slug very easily with Fearless Fusion. Number 3, it's raw removal of cards that don't have barrier is going to be really strong. Number 4, red's going to have a lot of trouble with it because for the first time in a long time, red's literally going to be going against tall cards. And like, while I can see like them being able to handle it somewhat, like you like Videlling my 30k down to nothing, I tribute it off and bring it back or like play another one, it just doesn't bode well, right? Like, and you can kind of deal with things as you go. The only problem is, and I've said this before about Dark Brawley, every other color other than black has massive floods against the deck. And what I mean by that, red has Violent Rays, yellow has Vegeta Unison of Fury, green's got the Big Amore, blue's got Heroic Prospect. So like they have all those floods that just basically tell us, yeah, how about no? And it's going to be pretty painful to play through those. But it's something that we didn't handle before, and it's something that we're not going to be able to, you know, hopefully do again. But what I will say though is that like those floods are going to be a lot more powerful as long as we have a leader that like doesn't get that good defensive, like that defensive stat line that we need. So Dark Brawley does need something. Hopefully the like either errata it back or give us a Z leader that like really boosts the deck. So yep, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And this is Alex and TCG Discussions signing off, and I will see you next time. Laters.